Or are we? I don't know. It's been a while.
Not yet. Now we might be. Now we might be in the green room. So you can, feel free to say words. I'm not going to stifle you in any way. I'm just not going to introduce you officially until the show starts.
Mm-hmm.
And I've got, some hard-hitting interview questions for you.
I don't have any answers.
Well, don't worry. These aren't even very hard-hitting. But I'm always interested in people, especially when we go over these training videos, because I go, God, I've had so many jobs in my life. I wouldn't even say like I would consider any of them a career, and it's staggering to think how many things I've done that like I could still be doing possibly, but I was like I just got bored with.
Wait, we're in the green room, right?
Yeah, so I mean, it's unofficial.
That means we're not live, right?
We are live.
Oh, hey, hello, everybody.
Yeah, but that's the. But that, like I said, I'm not going to introduce you because we're just in the green room. We're waiting for everybody to file in and take their seats and unwrap all their noisy ass candy and shit. So we're just making.
I'm new. I tell you, I'll never understand you showbiz people. My God.
It's a very complicated situation. But I mean, you must have had a lot of jobs over your time on this earth, right? Or are you just one of those guys who's stuck with one thing his entire life?
A couple different ones. I was in one. Longest I was in one place was 8 years, I believe.
That's not a bad tenure for anybody. Like I remember, I might even still consider myself in this era, but I considered if I stayed somewhere a year, that was a long-term investment for me, man. Like it just felt like. If I ever was someplace for a year, I go, God, I should have a 401k by now. I should retire. It's happened to Ryan Maxwell.
I started a new job back in February. I'm still waiting for vacation time.
Man, I still feel like I'm the new guy at work. Like I've officially passed my year where I work now. It's like a year and 2 months. But I still feel like I'm the super new guy, even though new people have come and people have been fired left and right, hired left and right. I'm still like, God damn, this being the new guy is rough, but I can't consider myself that anymore.
No, you're definitely not.
Goddamn office folk. You ever spend any time in an office?
I wouldn't have any idea about that.
Okay, there you go. Yeah. I didn't for the longest time. I stayed away from it because I was like, that's not for me. I went out in the field. I was an electrician. I always had to be doing something. Then, you look at all the dudes around you on the job site and they all look like leather Muppets that Jim Henson designed on his deathbed. And I go, man, maybe baking my ass out in the sun all day, every day isn't for me anymore.
No, my body is very slowly, or not very slowly, very rapidly falling apart at this point. I gotta get out of this kind of work.
Yeah, it's rough. But that I sometimes feel the pull of it though. Again, maybe it's just for nostalgia's sake. But sometimes I go, there was at the end of the day, something felt better on some level. I could say I pulled, 6 rooms and 300 feet of wire through yada, yada, yada. At the end of the day, I go, well, there's a spreadsheet that's slightly less spreadable because of me.
I love spreadsheets.
Same.
It's rough shit.
You love spreadsheets?
Oh, yeah.
What?
Yeah.
People are weird.
I was an accounting student.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, well, let's, what is happening? Maxwell English shouting Scott as he usually does.
Confusing everybody.
Yeah, goddamn you people with your Maxwell Englishes and your Ryan Maxwells.
Excel.
I think you might be doing something with Maxwell at some point.
Probably, yeah. There's always something going on with one of the Maxwell knuckleheads, whether it be Ryan or Maxwell himself. I'm in
Perhaps
HR. Oh, yeah.
Yeah, Maxwell's in HR.
I keep forgetting Matt. God damn it, you fucker. Someone change, one of you, seriously, change your name. One of you has to drop the Maxwell. I don't care who, okay? Jesus.
Sir, please.
I think we're both going to jail. Okay. Bingo.
I still think we need to have a Maxwell off. Says Ryan.
But then how do you, because, we got Maxwell English, an HR rep. We got Ryan Maxwell, a Goodwill rep. How do you put those two together in any sort of quantifiable, measurable, you put two people who can race, you put them in a race.
Yeah.
I don't know how we're going to find, what part of that Venn diagram
Like a
overlaps
TCAP
with?
off. Which one knows TCAP more?
I don't know, man. That's the thing about these weirdo TCAP people. They're all really weird about their show that they love so much. So here's a quick story. Like someone on I think on this channel, like maybe it was the Dustin McFetridge or someone pointed out, it's been 17 years since the show aired and we're still talking about it. They go, yeah, well, you're here too, so don't throw shit my way. Motherfucker. Anyway, here we go.
You're listening to FFOP Radio.
Reach the
Welcome to the show. My name is Dave. This is FFOP Radio. We're back after our little break. Welcome to it. I've got some fun stuff and people for you tonight. So first off, let me show you his head's right there in the corner. The great hair, by the way. But Jamison is on the show. Welcome, Jamison.
Is that me?
Mm-hmm. That's the one.
I don't recognize that hair.
That's the picture you sent of you anyway. I mean, it could be a myth or a legend that it sort of just ended up on the show.
It was a fake picture.
Yeah. Krista, my co-host and producer, is also here.
Hello. And yes, we're in color again.
Yeah, we're
apparently.
in color because Halloween's over, R.I.P., but it'll be back next year. But I am wearing my manager's training jacket. So what I'm hoping to do through this episode is to put Jamison here through his paces and see if he's ready to start working at my PM franchise.
Is that what this is? Is that what that jacket is?
I mean, technically it's a $3 Wish purchase, but it fills many roles.
Yeah.
I thought it was a maitre d'.
Oh, yeah, it could be a maitre d'. I've got, I could have won some sort of lower tier golf thing. What do they call them? Games?
Tournament?
Tournaments. I could have won a lower, you don't know me. I could be a world-class golfer or
Maxwell doesn't
JV.
trust it. He doesn't trust your jacket.
I'm the manager. You don't have to trust shit. You just have to take orders. That's all you have to do. But like I was saying, maybe in the green room if you were here, I've done so many things, and I'm sure you have done some things too. I want to unpack what was your best job and your worst job, Jamison?
Oh shoot! Worst job is working grocery for sure.
What position? Were you the manager?
At one point, as manager, I was everything: manager, bookkeeper, receiver, cashier, you name it.
I'd be a supplier over a receiver if you know what I mean, but I get it. So how did you fall into that? Because I feel like maybe every job I've ever had, I've sort of fallen into. So maybe it's the same with you.
Oh, it's a long story. They were hiring.
Whoa.
Wow.
Nice. That's how I
just
always.
needed a job at the time.
I swear to God, it's every job you don't want that they fucking snap you up for. I probably told this story before, but it bears repeating because it blows my fucking mind even when I tell it today. I was out of options. Everywhere else I went that I wanted to get a job at, they didn't call me back or they turned me down or whatever. So I walked my ass down to Burger King and I was like, I'll take an application. And they didn't have them, so they made me fill out a Burger King Kids Club registration. And they hired me based off of that. It was what your name, your age, and your favorite soda flavor, and they're like, you're hired. I couldn't.
This
You
is
didn't put
this is
RC on there.
Best resume we've seen all month.
Yeah, oh, you like the color orange? Well, good news, you're hired. And I go, God damn it! But yeah, that's every job I've ever had that I did not want. They gave it to me readily.
I can't imagine fast food. That's got to be a rough job.
I wouldn't like. That's the only reason I took it is because I was still in my teenage years. I think it was like 17. Because like no way in hell would I do that. Like it's another one of those rather where like if you stay in something long enough and you're clever, you can point out all the things that job will more than likely turn you into, whether it be like, the manager of a fast food restaurant or a burnt out leather husk of a human that was an electrician at some point. You go, you just see yourself on that trajectory. And like, I have an office job now. So the idea of a fat ass is not far from my mind ever. Because, it's constant sitting and snacking at the computer.
I've never worked outside of healthcare except for like a 5-month stint in the mortgage industry, and I fucking hated it. So I've been like, how old am I? I'm going to be 36.
Chris is like one of those people who like gets a job at a paper mill at the age of 6 and like retires at 67. Like they just rub their eyes as they see daylight for the first time.
21 years and
7 years, Marty.
7 years.
So, like I was saying, we're here for some AM PM training. Now, if you're not familiar with AM PM, because they're not everywhere, right?
Mm-hmm.
Getting fat with a PH. AM PM was always the cheapest place for gas around my, house growing up. So I have a special tie to it. By far, lower tier as far as gas stations, right?
I don't remember ever having one in Connecticut.
No, me neither.
Well, yeah, depending on where you are, like maybe you because we don't have Buc-ee's out here, but they're fucking crazy. But like we have Love's and the Flying J and all this other stuff. So like, if you spend any time on the road, tripping on the road, if you will, you're gonna like eventually find that hierarchy of like your big national like. There are places where you would definitely stop and feel safe taking a dump, and others where like you'd rather just get shanked in the kidney.
Yeah, that's the only time I've ever seen an AM/PM is when I've been traveling.
Yeah.
Yeah, here they're everywhere. So price of participation may vary, but like, God, I never in my life would I venture into an AM/PM bathroom. So let's get this show on the road and see if Jamison can pass the rigorous test at the. Oh, P.S. It's like an hour and a half of a training video. There's no way we're getting through all of it.
We'll get through 17 minutes.
Never fear, Jamison. We'll get through an hour and a half, 2 hours of real time, maybe 13 minutes of raw footage.
Do they still do these training videos?
They must, right?
They have to.
Like, because
The only thing I ever see now is sexual harassment training videos every year.
You see them every year? You must be a repeat offender. No, just kidding. No, like I've seen. I mean, yeah. Long and the short answer is yes. I still think they exist everywhere. They just are this crazy thing. They're just in. They're just in different formats because, like, all the training videos, my current job were just on the computer. Like, I wasn't led to a room and got to sit in the dark and cold and watch it. Like, you just watch it at your desk or whatever now. But, like, even as a construction worker, I saw, a lifetime's worth of dudes getting killed on the job somewhere or another, so they hoped it wouldn't happen to me.
AM/PM are West Coast.
Yeah, for sure. Arco, because they were also, AM/PM was also tied with BP at some point, I think. Anyway. Happy, like middle-aged people working at gas stations. Look at them all.
Well, that's normal nowadays because usually coming out of prison, it's the only job you can get.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. I don't know where you're at. You have QTs. Are those by you at all?
It doesn't sound familiar, no.
Okay, so here in Arizona, at least, probably just in the Southwest again, it's like the Quick Trip. They're like the gold standard of gas stations. Like they always are clean. They're fully staffed. Like there's cameras all over the place. Like I feel like what was it? Michael Dunn was at a Quick Trip. Like the footage was so awesome. Yeah, FDO knows what I'm talking about. And BM, yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
Hot beverages.
Don't need money. Don't need that. Huey Lewis in the news. Take it away.
Making coffee.
That's what I was just going to
Beverages
say.
like coffee and hot chocolate are
It's Gollum.
big
Ugh.
parts of our business at AM/PM. Many customers look forward to a freshly brewed cup of coffee or hot chocolate when they stop into your store, especially first thing in the morning. These same customers will often buy something else to go along with
Is that
their
Seagram's in the background?
Yeah, hell yeah. It might be Bartles and James too. But it's one depressing thing, because if you ever stop at a gas station in the morning, you're equally likely to see like dudes picking up bags of ice and donuts, or like hopeless drunks like lackadaisically throwing up 2 tall boys of chilada at 6:45 in the morning.
Well, you know what I see early in the morning at the mini mart is people going for that little airplane-sized liquor bottles.
Oh, yeah.
Another popular one that you flip a coin. If someone was coming up to the front of the line, like when I was at a gas station in the morning, it would be like either the tall boys or like a nice sixer of like Fireball whiskey, probably.
FDO says where I live
drink.
now, Wawa
donut, a sandwich, a
is the
newspaper.
equivalent to Quick
Selling.
Trip.
In this module, you'll
All
learn
right,
about the
I've
hot
heard of
beverage
that.
equipment we use.
Them.
You'll also learn how to prepare the kind of great tasting hot beverages
He
that'll
kinda looks like a
keep your
young Red
customers
Foreman.
coming back for more.
He looks like
So the
Rob
first thing
Corddry
to
with
look
that
for-
hairline.
He
Switches
does.
and controls. Under this panel,
Whoa, you can control the whole
on-off
coffee
switch,
machine from
the
here.
brew switches, and the indicator lights.
now this red button lets the customer pour plain hot water. Now the main part of the brewing system is here, in the brew basket and the urn.
Whoa, slow
Urn.
down. Like growing a mile a minute. Like there are so many buttons. Oh, jeez.
The coffee and filter go inside here.
Folgers, right?
Now when the coffee's brewed, it's held in this urn. Some people call this a satellite server. That's
weird
because
of
it
them.
can be
Yeah.
removed from the hot plate and set onto the satellite warmer.
I love how casual this dude is. Like we've seen a million pieces of training footage. Like this is the only dude who's like taking it easy. He's got the hand in the pocket. He's just like, yeah, I totally get what you're putting down. Like he's not playing like the Ron Popeil or Ronco like before and after, like where she's super confident and he can't even like wrap a blanket around himself without choking himself to death.
He's got those pants up to his ribcage too.
Yeah.
Brett.
Hell yeah! Like he's probably got a zipper that's 10 inches long.
That way it's fresh and hot. And the brewer's available to make important when customers are
What?
buying a lot of coffee. Now this sight gauge helps you see how much coffee is in the urn.
Brilliant.
This urn holds 3 pots of coffee when full. We
I
can
don't
make
like that it's
1
called an
or
urn.
2 pots of coffee with this machine.
Yeah.
They should have like a hybrid training system where it's like, oh, here's how the coffee works. But like if someone comes in, flashing their gat, hit this button and it'll like throw the freshest batch of hot coffee grounds at the mugger. Something.
Ryan says I was at a grocery
Always look
store
at the
at
gauge and make
8:30
sure how
a.m.
much
once,
coffee
and the
is
lady
in
in
it.
front of me bought a bottle of vodka, a 2-ounce bag of chips, and a National Enquirer.
Yeah, it's no joke.
It was a big day for her.
She knows how to live.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm telling you, like when I was, and the only reason I did it is because it was in the same parking lot. It was like one of the clinics I worked at just had a Circle K. And so I go, you know what? I could use a whatever the fuck, just some small stupid thing to like waste a few minutes before I had to go to that soul crushing hellhole. And it was always just so mind blowing. Where like people, I don't know, something about society just sort of imprints upon us that you don't do certain things at certain times. Even if you don't do those things, you sort of become aware of those rules or unspoken rules. And like buying alcohol and like lottery tickets at any time before like, I'll say 9 to be generous, feels so weird.
I don't know about lottery tickets, but alcohol, sure.
I don't know, because like the lottery tickets feel, because here's the thing, I can identify with the hopeless drunk, right? Because they need that booze to keep going. Like the lottery tickets could wait. That's the thing. Like that, but it just reads of desperation. Like if I were to look at someone buying lottery tickets and 2 tall chiladas in the morning, I go, here's a man or a woman, not to be sexist, who can't fucking wait to escape the life they have one way or another. Think about it.
Well, and think about it. What if the person who comes in there and buys that lottery ticket before you is the winner?
Yeah.
I get so it's like the early worm with the DTs, or the early bird rather gets the worm. But I don't know. That's the thing. I can't. You can't be like, well, gambling strategies, because come in and rub a troll doll all over your body in order for those tickets for all to make the
Or
difference.
brewing more. Now these faucets draw the coffee. These faucets are color-coded. Black for regular,
Orange for hot.
orange for decaffeinated. Now to make coffee, we want to make sure that the unit is on. Now it should be on all
Whoa.
the time, except for once in a while it might be turned off.
Gotta be on, huh?
Now if it's turned off,
Debbie, what if it's
lift
off?
the faceplate,
Oh, look.
turn the on switch, and let it heat up.
These indicator
Oh,
lights will show
whoa.
if it's
The
on.
water must be
Whoa, the panel came back. I feel like we're on the Starship Enterprise. Like there's so many buttons. Like he should be wearing a Geordie LaForge type visor. Like this is the future.
He looks familiar.
He looks like Edward James almost a little bit, right? Like this is his first role.
Oh my God! You know what he looks like? That's a young Anthony. That's a young Anthony Palumbo. Right there.
Oh yeah, throw the mustache. Yeah, I was gonna say
Take the
Ralph
mustache off.
Macchio.
Come on.
Yeah, I was gonna say the Karate Kid himself, but that's more. Yeah, that's definitely like this feels like Palumbo. Like this is when he was a driver at night. He loves to gamble. That's why he's buying those tickets early in the morning.
Must be at least 195
It's all coming
degrees.
together.
Now, once it's ready, you pull out the brew basket.
If
and
Mr.
you put in
Miyagi
one
makes a
filter
cameo, though, I will
of
shit my pants.
What are you doing here?
It's fine. We're about to make some coffee. You know,
It's been 20 minutes, Brenda. I think we can like speed it up a little bit. Like there's just a line of angry people like, oh, we want our fucking.
But Brenda, where does the
Filters don't
water
look
come
very
from when you
strong.
press the
Wouldn't it
hot
be
water
better if we
button?
used two?
No,
The sink's
always use
stupid.
only one filter. If you use more than one filter, then the water can't flow through the grounds fast enough, and you'll end up with coffee that's too strong or too bitter.
Hold on a second. This guy's already annoying me.
Uh-huh.
This fucking guy hasn't even made his first pot of coffee, and he's already got suggestions on how to do it better.
Right.
Like, what if we use 2 filters instead of 1?
Yeah. Hey, don't try to come in and start fixing shit. Like every good employee comes in, reads the lay of the land, then starts fucking with shit.
Oh, Maxwell says he doesn't understand English. That's why he's just nodding.
This guy's in fucking trouble, I'll tell you that. And like,
And you notice. Oh, sorry. Go ahead.
no, go for it.
So you notice he waits for the boss to come over before he makes this suggestion. He's like, "Oh, this is my big moment here."
Yeah, he's like, oh, hey, sir.
He's gonna love this idea.
Instant promotion.
Crash and burn. What's happening, Brick Newton?
Hey.
But this also puts me in the mind of like when you are a new trainee, like sometimes you feel like the person training you is gold bricking.
Uh-huh.
Like I feel like my entire first 4 months at this job that I'm at now was gold bricking on everybody's part. Like they knew that the slower I got trained, the less they had to do.
Yeah.
That's what I feel like this is. Like, the store opened at 6. It's now 8:45. We're waiting on coffee 1, and this dude's like, 2 filters, sir. Shut the fuck up. Get the grounds in that pot.
Now, if I was going to make 1 pot of coffee, I would only use 1 pre-measured packet. But since it's busy and we're still selling a lot of coffee at this time of day,
I just want
and
to
I've
Where
looked
is
at
everybody?
the gauge and it shows that it's less
Look
than
at him. Whoa,
1/3 full,
oh,
I'll use 2 packets.
Are you sure, Brenda? That seems like a lot.
Not for nothing. The lighting is terrible. The framing is okay, but like the shots are dynamic. Like this is when there was probably a real life director who was like praying to God that someone would see this footage and go like, I want the director of the Arco video. Like
Yeah.
we're seeing cutaways, we're seeing reaction shots. Like the shit I see today varies from like one static shot of someone standing very still in front of a camera to just like a PowerPoint presentation of like stock images of people that sort of flutter across the screen.
AI images now
This
too.
This is fucking classic, and it's Arco quality, I guess.
I want that coffee thing to fall
I want
off
to make
the
sure that the
counter.
coffee brews evenly.
There it is again. Yep.
Lots of shots of Anthony
You wanna
Palumbo
shake it.
or
Now, when things
Tony
get
2
busy,
filters
you
there
might
looking
think
really
you can
smug.
save yourself some time
Yeah.
filling up several.
He's just waiting. He's waiting for the boss to, like for Quark here. He's like, as soon as Quark's out of the picture, I'm putting 2 filters in this shit.
Yeah.
filters with fresh coffee and letting them sit until you need
I'm
them.
going to revolutionize the coffee brewing industry.
He's like, that you can't make coffee too strong, idiot. And I agree with him. You know, he's got some wild thoughts, this young Anthony Palumbo, but I agree with some of them. The coffee-related ones. Only.
That's a bad idea. Coffee gets stale very quickly when it's exposed to air, and stale
what I
coffee
always
grounds
say,
make
right,
stale
Krista?
tasting coffee.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah,
if you
I do. I'm very particular about how my coffee is and how long it's exposed to air. Like, hello? Not rocket science.
stack several filters with fresh coffee on top of each other, some of the grounds from one packet will stick to the bottom of the filter that's above
Great.
it. And those grounds are going to wind up in the bottom of the customer's
Burn it.
coffee cup.
You slide the brew basket back in like this.
We can't, like, let our standards slip because we all know that, like, the upper echelon are hanging out at the Ritz and at Arco's, checking the bottom of the pot for grounds.
AM PM.
Arco's the same thing. It's the same company, guys.
Put it on a clean urn with the lid in place on the hot plate. You also want to make sure that the urn is secure.
I want the director of the Arco video. I'm sorry, sir, he's unavailable. Then bring me his non-union Mexican equivalent.
And that the unit has the right color-coded faucet for the kind of coffee you're making.
This is like when King Cobra would screw up the teas.
One of the brewing switches. A half gallon for one pot and a full gallon for 2 pots.
Whoa.
Now once the brewing cycle is done, you still have one more job to do.
You've got to take the used grounds out of the basket.
What?
Wow.
What happened to that audio?
She messed it up. I had to redo it.
ADR line there.
Yeah, they paid. You know what I heard? They paid Scarlett Johansson $75,000 for that line reading. Arco's got some fucking money to throw around.
Do we not right away? I mean, if we're busy, couldn't we just let it sit for a while?
You're
Not if you want
fired.
our coffee to keep tasting.
Where do we find this guy, Brenda? Like, does he ever ask a question that isn't stupid?
Great.
Used grounds in the brew basket put bitter oils into the coffee.
And the longer the ground sits,
What the
the more bitter
Oh
the
my
coffee
God.
gets.
Yes, but make certain not to pull the basket out too soon. If there's any hot
I
water
wonder if now with all these weird edits, I wonder if like this director is Neil Breen.
in the basket when you take it out, it could
Yes.
splash and burn you.
He'd be playing
Absolutely.
dual roles.
Oh yeah, no yeah, he'd be playing the manager who also saves AM/PM from aliens or
Yeah,
some
and he
shit.
has to be shirtless and he has to have sex with her.
Hey, I'm not only the manager of an Arco, but I'm also an alien robot god.
Certain the
Check out my
coffee
ball
is
sack
stopped
from
running
behind.
through the basket before you take the basket out.
I do
And what
the
do I
least
with the
amount of
used
work.
coffee grounds?
Throw them away in the trash can. Don't ever put them in a sink or drain.
Or your pants. Key points. They're the sharp parts of your key that turn the tumblers in the lock. You're welcome.
He's got no room for coffee
To make
grounds in his
coffee.
pants. Look away how high he's wearing this thing.
Right.
Yeah, he's like that Soda Steel meme, but he's with coffee grounds. He just looks like he has a full diaper.
First, make
Tommy
certain
Wiseau.
that
Oh, hi, coffee.
Oh, hot coffee.
it takes at least 10 minutes for it to warm up.
My favorite customer.
Place one filter into the brew
And
basket.
only one.
Never
Only
more.
one.
Never more.
Check the cycle
Quote the Arco employee, never more.
gauge to see how full the unit is, and add either
Gauge
one
your
or
prospects on the
two
customers.
pre-measured.
See if you got any thirst traps walking around.
Then press the proper brew switch for either one pot or two. When the brewing is completed, dispose of the used grounds in a trash can.
Keep all stupid questions to yourself.
If you have any questions
Yeah,
about brewing
right
coffee,
after
just
brewing.
ask your
Don't wait on it, right?
store manager. And of course, you can always check your manual. Now complete
I would
checkpoint
always
1 in
check
your
the manual.
participant's
Yeah.
guide. When you complete this assignment, view the next part of this video program. Now stop the video.
Can I get a printout?
Hell no, we ain't stopping the video. We're moving on. So, I mean, it's pretty easy, right, Jamison? I spent $50,000 on this AM/PM franchise after my sub company went bust. Seems like if we can make coffee, this franchise will be a success.
No, not with that Anthony Palumbo wasting all your supplies, though.
Yeah, his ass is getting chopped
And to
immediately.
ensure
Oh,
that we're
God.
always
Is this
making
whole
great
thing
tasting
about coffee?
Anyway, about coffee. The beans come from mostly South American places.
2 things you have to
Brick
remember.
thinks he failed this
Always
section.
keep the equipment clean.
I want him to go over to the hot dog roller. That's the piece of equipment that I'm interested in. I love a good hot dog.
And never use any soaps or cleansers on any part of the unit that comes in contact with the coffee.
Oh,
Now we're going
right.
to start by cleaning the outside of the brewing unit. But remember, it's on, so the plate will be hot, and be careful.
Now, do you ever use anything besides water here?
The cloth should be used
I
to
literally
stainless
just
steel.
said no.
Oh, you know what he's getting at here, right?
And a
That's
stainless
young Anthony
cleaner.
Palumbo. He's going to say we can use soap.
Yeah, she's gonna be like, you can use this rag, and he's like, no rag.
Such as Pro-Bright. Now stainless has a grain finish like a pattern. Now wipe the polish in the direction of the grain, back and forth. Never up and down or in circles.
That's how you're supposed to buff your Tesla Cybertruck too.
You'll scratch the
Wait,
urn.
wait a minute. Is she secretly teaching him karate here?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hello, I told you, he's the fucking karate kid. She's gonna be his Mr. Miyagi.
You gotta breathe in, breathe out.
That'd be hilarious if at the end, like, you see him like on a one of those stumps at the beach. He's got 2 coffee pots in his hand doing the flamingo pose. Kicks the boss in the face.
FDO
Fuck
says
yeah.
people from Chicago will say ketchup doesn't belong on a hot dog, but we'll
right.
throw a whole ass tomato and pickle on there.
Those people are fucking tomatoes. What are we doing with that?
A young Rolando Rest Cruz.
Maybe he's got so many. He looks a little bit like, what was the kid who bought the shot of Jaeger?
Just one shot?
Yeah, I don't know if he actually.
Eric Thornton,
Yes, Thornton. He looks a little bit like Thornton's.
the late Eric Thornton.
Yeah. So like Eric Thornton was the older brother, and they saw like they fucked up, and like this is the younger brother, and they go, at least he got a job at AM/PM.
These are chemicals. That might damage the surface, and that'd make it a lot harder to keep clean. Now sometimes a soft brush with some warm water is needed to keep these basket rails completely clean. Use warm water
come
and a
on.
sponge.
Yeah, as if,
Clean the
right?
coffee oils out of the brew basket. Then you rinse it in warm water.
I was about to
Let
say
it dry.
nobody's doing that shit unless
Never
the boss
use any
is standing
soaps
over
or
their
cleaners.
shoulder.
Right.
Of course, there's the boss there.
Like he's got like roller grill hot dog breath just flowing out of his nose and down her neck.
To clean the brew basket because it comes into direct contact with the coffee.
Right, Steve?
Right?
Now the satellite server is the same. To
Micromanagement.
clean it, just wipe the inside out with warm water and a cloth.
Who washes the cloths, Brenda?
And the outside with warm water and a Scotch-Brite pad. Now, this
So
urn should be
gentle, you
cleaned
won't
at
even know
least
you're
once a
doing
day. And never put the whole unit into a sink full of water.
Am I right?
That could damage the insulation, and the urn wouldn't be able to keep the coffee warm.
Okay, I'll remember that.
Will you?
Okay, next we'll clean the faucet
2 filters. Got it.
and the glass gauge. You start by unscrewing this cap
Wow.
and use
Good news. By the end of this video, we're all going to be certified coffee mechanics.
Yep.
warm water and a stiff bristled bottle brush to clean out the inside.
Overtly sexual, but trying to keep your mind on the job.
Now when you're cleaning this faucet, check the seat cup for any leaks or cracks. If you find any, replace it before you put it all back together.
Yeah,
Where
check
would you
with
get-
me if you need any parts. I'll show you where we keep them and how to put them back on.
Okay, boss.
Oh man, they go to like the back room, and it's like just like the back of an AutoZone, but nothing but coffee parts.
You're right.
And what kind of a manager has the time to just sit and watch a
Seriously.
new hire being trained?
Right. How plush is this store that it can not only lose apparently its best team member to burn on Palumbo Jr. here, but like the manager, here's the thing. She's not in that position for no reason. He has just enough hair and probably is pulling just enough money that she's like, as long as it'll advance my career. You know what I mean?
In the gas station industry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's
Hey.
cutthroat.
If they remade this today, I think Paul Scheer would play the manager.
Oh, totally. Yes. Like this could be everybody. This could be Paul Scheer, June Diane Raphael, and Jason Mantzoukas.
Oh,
Brooks-
he
Important
Mantzoukas would definitely be the one to suggest 2 filters, right?
Yeah, for sure. He's like, and 2 filters.
important to
like-
keep this glass gauge clean.
I'm not a huge fan of him. Anyway, Brick says, how much is this costing the company to train this dude, the boss and an employee? Who's serving the customers?
Yeah, like hundreds of dollars are flying out the window in man hours alone. Not to mention all the filters this dude's burning through on a fucking daily basis.
The boss is in the ass station industry.
Hell yeah, he is.
Cap. Take the glass gauge out of its housing.
Ass station. Now you can smoke crack with it.
Use warm water and a bottle brush to clean the inside of the tube.
God, AMPM is like the #1 like consumers of bottle brushes.
Yep.
Pipe cleaner's too good for you?
They're the cleanest, best gas station, too.
Oh, yeah. Well, you got the whole like steel urn thing going on. Girls don't like that.
Now remember where you put this little rubber washer, so you can find it when you're ready to reassemble the unit.
Put it in your mouth.
And these tubes
Swish
are made
it around.
of very delicate glass, so be careful not to break them when you clean them.
For the last step, use a bottle brush to clean out the piping that leads to the satellite
Good
server.
sweet lord.
Or are we using different ones? Brenda!
These are different sizes.
Well, that's how she got this job. She knows how to clean out the pipes.
Yep.
Right in the tip like that. That's like Jeff Sokol's unit, right? Holy cow. That's after the Viagra.
Oh, boy.
Just hold still, Jeff.
Why does it
Okay.
have so many ridges?
It's got that weird growth on the top.
Great
Overflow.
tasting coffee begins with clean equipment.
Get to the
Polish
hot
the outside of the
dogs.
coffee equipment with a stainless steel
Boo!
polish. Do not use heavy-duty cleansers. Clean the brew basket and satellite
Give the
server
coffee
with
machine
just
enema
warm
every
water,
morning.
not soap or
And you know this would happen like yearly, because like, I mean, we all live in reality, right? I don't have to tell you.
cleansers. Clean the faucet, glass
Rick knows what I'm
gauge, and
talking
piping
about.
with
Bring on
warm
those
water
wieners.
and a stiff-bristled bottle brush.
And that's how you keep your coffee equipment clean.
Oh, where's our double mint? Right over here.
Oh,
Now complete checkpoint 2 in your
Oh,
participant's guide.
cigarettes.
When you complete this assignment,
what
view
are they
the
going
next
to
segment
get to
of
the
this video
fireworks
program.
factory?
I'm
Now stop the
saying.
video.
Oh god. Do you think like they would hand you like a World War II era field guide to stripping and cleaning your coffee machine?
Yes.
It's like once you get
I
past,
like that too.
it's like in the back is a strip guide for like the Mosin and the Gaunt too. It's like, oh, you know,
I like the tune they play in between the videos to hear though.
Yeah.
it's very like vaporwave. I'm sure this has been sampled on something.
Sounds like Cool in the Gang. Like Celebration.
Yes.
A little bit. Yeah, I could have swore. What were we hearing earlier?
I already.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah,
Woo!
we're so close to like ripping shit off. Arco's got close to original music money.
Royalty-free version celebration.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
This is called party time.
Some people want a different kind of hot beverage.
Oh.
That's where hot chocolate comes in.
Gee, now we're
And
going into
making
hot chocolate
is
territory.
easy, and it's similar to making
This is my coffee. This is my urn.
Now,
Our
just
coffee
like
is
the
tasty.
coffee
Don't
brewer,
let it burn.
You want to make sure that the unit is on. Now, if it's off, flip the heater switch on and let it heat up for 10 minutes.
Here's how we make it. There's
Now,
an
once it's
indicator
ready-
light.
10 minutes later, woo! I love those cutaways.
Lift the lid,
Put the cocoa in,
pour in 1 bag of cocoa mix,
but we just leave here open on
Open.
the counter. That's how you get ants.
Air don't matter with hot chocolate.
Yeah, oxidize all you want, you chocolate bitch. I don't give a fuck, they say at Arco. Coffee, they'll break your back, but cocoa, it's like, who gives a shit? Who's the cocoa
Into the
audience?
hopper.
You know what I mean? Who are they going to
place
complain
the
to?
lid.
Mix it with
Oh, I noticed You
coffee.
just poured the mix in. You didn't smooth it out or tap it down or anything.
Right.
There he
Tap
goes
it
again.
down. The water
don't give
won't
a
mix
fuck.
well with it.
Tapping it down happens on your break, Palumbo.
It might clog the unit. Also, the chocolate
He's got all
might
the
be
answers, doesn't he?
lumpy or too strong. So just pour it in and let it be. Now, the water is automatically fed
Classic
through
Ronco, set it and forget it.
the foolproof operation. But it's a good idea to check the quality of your hot chocolate once you put in a new bag. Take a 12-ounce cup, put it under the mix chamber,
Drink 12 full ounces of hot chocolate.
Just chug it real quick. You're on the
press
clock.
this button until it's 2/3 full.
Or about 8 ounces.
Uh,
Now drink
Then when you
it.
release, it'll fill up automatically.
if you're lucky.
Right.
Or if you're unlucky, if you know what I mean. I've ruined a lot of pants.
Here lies FFOP radio. Oxidize all you want, you
Great hot
chocolate
chocolate
bitch.
is keeping the equipment clean.
He's
just
gonna
like
say
with
it's too
coffee.
hot. Put that in the refrigerator.
Put that in the fridge. You can put that in the refrigerator. He's going to put it next to the Bartles and James wine coolers.
The main difference between the two units is that this equipment is a lot simpler to clean.
Now, the hot chocolate unit has to be cleaned once a day. You can
Once
do
a
that
day?
by first turning it off and then unplugging it.
You know, rip that hot chocolate sticker off, and that's probably the same exact machine for like a hot nacho cheese dispenser
100%.
or hot butter. Anything hot
yeah.
and soupy would come out of that shit. It's the workhorse of the industry.
The unit cool down, and it also prevents you from getting
Shit
so while the
faced.
unit's cooling down, you want to wipe it off with a clean, damp cloth.
The same one from the coffee.
Now,
Oh, the
this
dirty
dispenser also
girl.
gets just as dirty as the coffee brewer. So sometimes
teach
you
him
might
how
have to
to
use
block
the
punches
famous
right now.
polish also.
Okay. So what do you do next?
Well, you take off the front plate,
And you sweep the floor. What else did he do? Now we're gonna catch flies with chopsticks. Except they're gonna use
You
Twix
paint
bars.
the fence.
Say what?
I was gonna say next you paint the fence up, down.
Right. Oh yeah, painting the
down.
fence. Yeah. So that'll be like wiping the beer fridge.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then he's gonna
Side to side, side to side. Wipe it side to side.
yeah he's gonna catch a June bug with a couple of Twixes or Kit Kats. This journey
by
will be
lifting up
complete.
Hot and
out.
Soupy was Ryan's nickname in high school.
Oh, duh.
Then you take off the wing nuts.
Am I right?
Now this lets you take off the mix chamber.
We have to do all this in front of the customers, Deborah?
And just let it dangle by the lower tube.
Oh God.
Yeah.
And you
It's
want to
getting
rinse
sexual
it
again.
inside and out. With the
Once you whip it out, just let it dangle freely in the air, allowing it to soak up the ambiance of the room.
detergent and hot water.
Turgid. Oh. I don't know. Where's the love?
Print out,
You
please.
want to wash these at the same time
Do I?
and rinse them in cold water.
Give them a break. They're hot chocolate
And make
things.
sure that you set them aside to dry.
Where else would you put them? Up? What other prepositions are at your disposal? Brenda.
Put it all back together.
You know, at this point, if it were real life and that Palumbo character were you would be yawning fucking hardcore. Like so hard, like your body would get the shivers. It would be so deep.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
Uh-huh.
Palumbo looks on approvingly.
No questions here.
Cinch up these wing nuts,
And don't forget
Palumbo.
to reattach the upper tube.
Whoa.
Now the mix chamber still has detergent in it.
Look out for that.
So you want to plug it back in.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure you have a container in place.
And drink
And
it.
press the rinse button for 10 seconds.
Yeah, he's dumb enough to grab that and start drinking it too.
Put the front plate
Oh,
back
this
on.
is good, Brenda. It's the original Tide Pod challenge.
Oh, yeah.
And
She did, you know, she was nice. She let him put cream and sugar in it.
wipe it off. And last, wash the drip tray and the splash guard.
Oh. We're not going to do that now, obviously.
Once the unit warms
Oh,
up,
there she goes.
you're all ready to make hot chocolate in a clean dispenser.
Horse kick head injury. Dad comes in for
Hot
his
chocolate is
lifesavers.
much
Hi, do you have the roll that's all cherry?
like coffee when it comes to making the product and cleaning the machine.
I like my
Begin
sugar with
by
coffee
making
and
sure
cream.
that the machine is on
AMPM
and
is a
warm.
leader in hot brown
Pour one
liquids,
bag of
whether
chocolate
producing it in store or out of store.
That's it.
Next, they're going to talk
Apparently-
about the soda.
Apparently, it helps if the machine is on.
Yeah, you believe that shit? And if you don't know if it's on or not, you can consult the Star Trek level touchpad.
Yeah,
I
the
feel like-
indicator lights.
Instead of
Hold on,
seeing Quark, we should have seen Lieutenant O'Brien working that thing, right?
Oh yeah.
It's a good Star Trek reference.
Let me write that down. If it's off, turn it on.
Aha.
Got it.
And what would I do for that in that case? There's an on switch. Oh my God, is it labeled? Oh, you're in luck.
Easy. Clean the outside of the unit with a damp cloth and maybe a little stainless polish. Use detergent and hot water to clean the mixed chamber. Then
Tide?
rinse the parts in cold water and let them dry. After you have reassembled the mixed chamber, run the rinse function for 10 seconds.
We just got
And
this,
last,
man.
wash the drip tray and splash
You know,
it on.
you know, you make jokes, but you know Anthony
Now,
Palumbo
complete
is dumb
checkpoint
enough to
3.
be like, I couldn't find the on button. All I could find is the off button.
Like as soon as Quark and Brenda walk away, they go like they hear like some like metal grinding. There's like gear on gear action. They turn around and it's just like an explosion of coffee filters. Like there's coffee filters shooting out of the hot chocolate dispenser, and Quark's like, "God damn it, Palumbo! I'm not gonna make it through probation."
We're
In your
moving too fast for
participant's
Maxwell.
guide. When you finish the checkpoint, study the
Yeah, if you can't handle it, Maxwell, you're not gonna be able to work at this AM/PM.
review sections for this module in your participant's guide. Remember, you can go over the reviews as many times as you like. See your store manager if you have any questions about this module.
Oh boy.
When you're ready, take the module
Well, there you go,
test.
Maxwell. You can look
Remember,
over it over and over again.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can go over it as many times as you like, and you'll probably like to do it a lot. I always like to look at handbooks, like, right? The only handbook anyone would ever look at is the one from Beetlejuice.
Module test counts.
Yeah, I got these handbooks I read.
Yeah, it's called Book Jobs. We're not taking the test. Oh, damn, they really
It's-
loaded up the. There we go.
I thought it was intermission.
Right.
God, please. Oh yeah. Here's the thing. Maybe bad reference, but like I became aware of the idea of an intermission while watching a VHS copy of those magnificent men and their flying machine. And even as a child, because like that movie was so long in theaters, they would need time to like go out and take a piss or take all your petticoats off and buy some Whoppers at the fucking whatever. But I go, even in the VHS, because they left like 5 minutes of just music and like Monty Python-esque art style planes flying across the screen. And I go, it's a VCR. Anyway. I hope, please, fingers crossed for hot dogs or some sort of juicy fruit related content.
Should we explain what a VCR is to people?
It's a video cassette recorder. It's not a VHS player, you fucking millennials. There are people I knew who, like, I know for a fact grew up using VCRs. As soon as, like, we made it to the age of Blu-ray, it fell out of their fucking heads.
Yeah.
VHS player.
Yeah.
No, it's a VCR.
Well, you put VHSs in the VCR.
Yeah, but we didn't call them VHS players. They're video cassette recorders.
I agree.
Like, you don't call a television a talkie.
Brick says, I remember intermission as a kid. It was great to take a break and pop up your snacks.
Right,
Top up
but
your
like,
snacks.
imagine like if you like we just watched Deadpool and Wolverine. Imagine if like an hour and 10 minutes, it's just like, it wouldn't be unexpected there, I guess, because they would just turn the camera and be like intermission, but like what the fuck, right? It's not the 30s anymore.
Radio with pictures.
I want to meet more of this team.
I get that with movies every now and then, though. Just an hour in, I just need to take a break sometimes.
Right, but that's the not only that, it's the beauty of then and now, because when I was watching those magnificent men and their flying machines on VHS, I had the ability to not only pause but stop and then start again.
Yes.
Like leave the power to the people, you know what I mean? Attica.
That's how it was. I was watching one of those last Fast and Furious movies.
Oh,
Just
yeah.
like an hour in, I was like, my God, that's just a lot of noise. I need to get
You
away
gotta
from
take
this
it
for a minute.
in chunks. Yeah,
Jeez.
definitely. Yeah, here we go. It's the fucking
boy.
Huey Lewis in the News again. That's the song
Yeah.
I was trying to think of earlier.
Don't need money.
Huey Lewis and the Stock Boys.
Vendor management.
Oh boy.
Keeping
Hey, what are you doing back there, Cliff?
our stores stocked for our customers is an important responsibility.
Which customers?
You may be called on to replenish merchandise on the shelves from extra stock in the back room. Maintain the appearance of our merchandise by
Yeah,
regular
sure.
facing, fronting, dusting, and rotating. Using
Make sure you grab Mary Poppins' dust rag out of her carpet bag. Like, what the fuck?
the date code to
What is
ensure
happening here?
This is weird. Like, look how much Oscar Mayer
Product
meat was
freshness.
behind that woman.
In some cases,
Depressing.
you may even be called on to help accept a delivery from the vendors who service our store. Although this
All right,
activity is
maybe a little bit of pizza power, but it was definitely, I'm getting more Back to the Future vibes, FTO.
usually handled by a manager. But you need to
I
become
wonder if
familiar
Huey
with the
Lewis
simple
ever
steps
had
we
to use
follow
a credit card to
ensure
buy
that
train
all
tickets.
vendors are handled in a professional,
He said he didn't need it.
businesslike
You
manner.
know?
Let's start with the 7 steps to proper vendor check.
Just real quick, look at the time. 2 burgers for $1.19. I mean, they're gas station burgers, I get it, but still, what a value.
Wow.
Remember when Arby's would have 5 for $5? Now it's like 5 for $176 or something like that?
Check-in. 1. All deliveries are at specific times, and we handle only one vendor at a time. Now, that
Whew,
allows
here's our
us to
vendor.
focus on just one vendor.
Huge Hall of
and keep
Hostess,
customer
by the way.
inconvenience to a minimum. And we tell the vendor where to park.
Hey!
Second, after signing the vendor sign-in log,
The signs are there, Jameson.
outdated items and
Yeah, this is where all of the predators met, like all the Muppet babies. Like, this is the AMPM where like all the TCAT predators worked at some point or another, and they go on like when on the actual show, all you would see is this manager from like the knees down is like little Palumbo and little Roush and everybody roll around getting into zany adventures,
Little Roush.
seeing Star Wars cuts for whatever reason.
From the neck down, you put a phone on his belt. He looks like Dr. Woolen.
Oh yeah, maybe Wolin is the dad. And he's like, Predator babies. He's like, we gotta go to the doctor. That's a heartwarming episode.
and list them on a separate credit.
He may
ticket.
or may not be wearing a
Now, we
shoe.
always handle the entire
Yeah. He comes in and is like, hey, Predator babies, it's time for your RSO mugshots this year. That's a whole episode.
both ins and outs just once, so the vendor does not remove anything from the store at this point.
Don't you dare.
Third, the vendor brings the fresh products in the store and sets them up for us in a neutral
Pipe down,
area.
Ryan.
Now, this is very important for 2 reasons. It's not in the
You're damn right you'd watch that show, Brick, because I only have fucking banger ideas. Let me pitch you a show idea one day. It's called Hobo and the Hooker, where a hobo and a hooker live with the chief of police in a 1-bedroom apartment. We'll talk about
way
it
of
later.
the customers, and it's less confusing there, too. Fourth, we
Take all these
touch count
Bartles and
every
James
item
into the beer
to
cave.
ensure that our store is getting everything it's
Look at all the
supposed to
40s.
get. We compare the invoice and delivery
We got our Colt 45 in stock, thank God.
against
Perfect.
the build-up book to be sure we won't run out before the next delivery day. Fifth, we verify the math,
Verify
the
math.
extensions and totals, and we make sure the cost for each item is current and accurate. Now we're ready for step number 6.
Ugh.
We sign the invoice and keep the original, the top copy. And be sure not to sign the
Yeah, hand the bottom one back to Joe Piscopo before he hit the shit. Jesus.
White flies, yellow lies.
carbons. Our store could be billed incorrectly. The last step is to escort the
The hell of
vendor
a saying.
out of the store. Remember to inspect all empty boxes and cartons. Sometimes vendors have been known to help themselves to our merchandise without
You don't want to find a delivery guy passed out in a Twinkie box.
That's bullshit. The vendors are not stealing from you.
Why would they, right? Like, when you have a truck full of Wonder Bread, you're going to, like, steal from this AMPM?
Right. How
And
fake?
you've got a good job. Why are you going to risk it over something so stupid?
Right.
Right.
Like, oh, hey, Iron Kid's bread is not something you can take and, get off with a warning, my man. You're fired. Like, what?
That soda dispenser that sign looks so fake and stupid. It's like it looks like they just put like printer paper and it's a fake font over it.
It feels like we're in a set.
Yeah.
But like I don't know. It's walking the line because why does it say self-serve fountain drinks? It should say like something themed Arco and or Coke or Pepsi or whatever.
Right.
But
or just nothing.
You can't make out any soda brands there either.
Right. This feels like, since this is Quark, maybe it's like a lower version of the holodeck, and it can't quite get like it's like today's AI reality of that holodeck where it's like fountain drinks. It's like, what's Coca-Cola? It doesn't know.
Without paying. And when the delivery is finished, there's no reason to hang around. And make sure they clean up after themselves too.
Kick
Now
their
let's watch
asses
Barb
out.
show us
Right
how to
front to
receive a
back.
beer delivery.
Oh, the guy who delivered our NyQuil chugged 7 bottles, boss. What should I do?
Hi, Greg. I'm glad you're here early. I have a new employee that needs to learn about receiving
Oh,
stock.
know it all,
Here's the
Ryan.
invoice. I'll go get the last.
See, I thought one of them was mug.
suicide mentally with all those flavors.
You better sign in first.
Better sign in first,
Do all
Adam
vendors have to
Carolla.
sign in?
Every time before they do anything else.
Suppose there's more than one vendor at a time. Who signs in first?
The first one you hand the clipboard to,
Right.
and then you take it from them.
Give it to the other guy.
And what are you fucking new, Palumbo?
You never have two. Only one. It's a strict policy.
Oh, right.
Why?
Only
It
one
seems like
vendor
there's
at a
plenty of
time.
room out here.
We may have room,
What
but
if
you
the
can't
Bud and
handle
the Coors guy show up at the same time? Are they gonna duke it out in the parking lot?
Yeah.
Yeah, you got a lot of them waiting out in the parking lot, just looking through the window. When is it my turn?
Yeah, just like there's a ring set up so like the Coors and the Bud guy can take each other on. The Jack Links and the Slim Jim delivery guy can fucking Coke and Pepsi both taken out by RC.
more than one properly. If you split your attention, something may go wrong.
And why are we out
Michelob
here
guy.
if the beer goes over there?
You tell him, Greg.
I don't give a fuck. Sign my paper.
Yes. He just wants to get the hell out of there.
Am I doing your job, bitch? I don't think so, Brenda. You keep the yellow copy this time.
Get the fuck out.
My merchandise for stock, we might discount. Mix up the new with the old. Over here, we both know the count is right.
Brick asks,
I
is
couldn't have said
Mr.
it clearer
Pibb a real
myself. Tell you
drink?
what,
Yes, Mr. Pibb is a real drink. It's
He's only ever heard it on American Dad.
no, yeah, it's for
Is
real.
it like a
It's-
root beer?
No, it's
Oh.
Dr. Pepper derivative.
Oh, Dr. Pepper. Okay.
They're the ones, and that's why Stan likes him so much. Every other like Dr. Thunder or Dr. whatever, so many doctors. Mr. Pibb didn't fucking bullshit us. That's why we love him.
Quinn, why don't you tell Sid everything he needs to know about receiving
Sid?
stock?
I've done it enough times. Bet I could call off all the points.
Oh yeah,
I fucking
I have to
hate this
train
bitch.
another one of your
What is-
employees, Brenda. Wait,
What is Ryan Reynolds doing here? My
what?
God.
He looks like a little bit like a simian, but like, why was the back of his shirt Michelob and his hat is Bud? What happened to the wardrobe?
He's confused.
The fuck?
First, there's
Oh,
must
yeah,
park
Pibb
in the
extra,
designated
yeah.
area. Not to block windows or views into the store. Never come in during lunch. Before 7
Because who's gonna call it Pibb Extra? Nobody calls Twitter X, so get over it.
a.m. or after 4 p.m. In fact, it's best if you make every delivery at the same time of day, every day of the week, every week.
Doesn't this guy look like that guy looks like he was transported from like a 50s shop class, like how to make a boxcar or like a soapbox derby racer, and now he's like here and he doesn't know what he's doing?
Yeah.
Like just a little bit of an Encino man, like it was 1956 and he fell into a freezer and they're like, hey, back on stage. He's like, what am I doing? You're a Michelob Bud salesman.
They brought him in, tweezed his eyebrows, and threw a Michelob shirt on him. Said, "Go."
Yeah, he's like, what? Am I teaching shop still?
Why? Your stores have a strict policy.
But why?
One vendor at a time. And be sure to sign in as soon as you come
Yeah,
in.
don't let the Snickers
Oh yeah,
guy
Barb
in.
told me about that. Seems pretty logical.
Sure does. Avoids confusion.
But I gotta talk to you, man, about these two filters. I think they are totally off base about the filters, man. Like, you're a brewer. You know what I'm talking about, right?
We can both concentrate on what we're doing, and I can get out of here faster.
It also gives us a
When I don't have to train Brenda's new hires. Bitch.
chance to stay current about what's on special. But you'll learn about that later, Sid.
I understand.
Oh boy.
So what's next, Greg?
Check your store for
I
any
get the fuck
I'm
out.
gonna reapply the shoe polish to my my Groucho Marx eyebrows. I know,
updated product. If I find any, I pull it. Bring it here and write up a credit ticket.
He looks a little bit
Then
like
I bring
Sling
your
Blade
delivery
too,
to the
right?
location where you touch count.
Oh yeah, he does.
We touch count
French fried
everything.
potatoes, Sid.
While we're doing that, we spot check for the expiration date to make sure that everything's fresh and not mixed in with the old.
Yeah, because you don't want beer sitting on the shelf of an AM PM. Because like, who buys beer at AM PM at 6 o'clock in the morning? Right, guys?
He's pissed because he can't flirt with Brenda.
Oh, they all do that too.
Oh, maybe like that's their workaround. Is like, hey, if you do like most of the heavy lifting when I have a new hire, when there is no new hire, I'll give you a hand job in the back.
There you go. And then I'll kick you out.
Yeah, they go, hey, good news. What's his name? Cliff. I don't know his name. Beer guy. No new hire. It's time for a quick hand
Great.
EJ in the back of the beer cave. Time to make a new stalactite.
Oh, God.
Jesus Christ.
And check everything on the
Like, those are sealed boxes, by the way. Like, you imagine you're going to open up a thing
Exactly.
from Budweiser and be like, hey, this 24-pack only has 23 beers. The fuck?
invoice and then check the math. Now multiply the number of units by
Oh
the
my God,
cost
the
of each
math
unit.
again.
And that should give you the same figure as Greg has written down here.
Greg.
And make sure it adds up
Blood plus Coors divided by Miller equals profit.
right.
Math.
Then you sign the invoice,
Uh-huh.
keep the original, and give the vendor the copy.
Crumple it up and throw it in his face.
Almost right.
Almost.
Barb,
We're forgetting our hand job situation.
Oh, yeah.
forgot to tell you not to give me the copy and let me go until I cleaned up any mess I've made.
I was
I pooped myself.
going to tell him that later.
Hey, well, thanks for the lesson, Greg. I'm sure Barb appreciates not having to teach me
Oh,
everything.
Ryan says you
Anytime.
deserve a
Enjoyed it.
5-minute
next time.
timeout
Bye-bye.
for the stalactite joke. That was a rough one. That was
I
not.
love that shit, you guys. You know you
Not
did.
quite.
Gross.
He forgot a few important points. Now, it doesn't
Thanks,
apply in
Matt.
Greg's case, but usually you have to make sure that you flatten or inspect all the cartons before the vendor leaves. He could take merchandise out in them by mistake
get
or
it.
otherwise.
Like,
They gotta frisk him
otherwise.
down too? What the hell?
Yeah, he could have nefarious purposes. Like he could sneak out of here with one of those Lucy Budweisers.
He'll take the Michelob out because it's on his shirt.
Oh, also, if this is the days of Bud Ice, you got to look out for that goddamn penguin.
Oh.
And those flattened boxes can be stealing coffee filters.
Oh, yeah.
Ha! Yeah, you know, coffee filters are flat. They can be snuck out in any orifice. Keep your eyes on the prize, my friend. One filter per tankard urn.
Why do
There
they
are
call it an
7
urn?
steps you should
I don't
they,
know.
They sacrifice good coffee to losers.
They use this training video for crematoriums, too. So they just use it as one word.
2. Have vendors check their stock for outdated product and remove it. This should then be listed on a separate credit slip. 3. Have the product brought to a neutral location.
Switzerland.
4.
That's like when you like introducing dogs who don't know each other is just like ordering supplies for a major like national chain. You know, you do it in a neutral spot so they can sniff each other's asses and clear view of everybody. No territorial.
Touch count everything.
Oh hell yeah! Touch everything
5.
that comes through the door.
Verify all figures and math on the invoice. 6. Sign the invoice, keeping the top copy the original. And 7.
Ever
have
see the
vendor clean up any
any
mess
gas station
before you
encounters?
escort him from the
Yeah.
store.
I have.
Small gas station
Yes.
in Ohio.
Yeah, now has never been like a better time for like small businesses like that to blow up on YouTube, and I fucking love it.
That is very important. Not everyone's honest, and an unwatched vendor could do all sorts of things. Swap old merchandise for fresh, cheat us on the count, or even walk away with half the store. You have to watch them closely. I was over there at the counter and heard Barb and Greg cover just about everything, all except one very important policy.
The
hot dog.
HJs.
Never ask for samples or accept free merchandise. We are businessmen, and so are our vendors.
Yeah, AMPM carries the highest quality, and like what, like when I was an electrician, right, and I would go work at like do service calls in restaurants, they would say, "Hey, do you want some food?" I would say, "Fuck yes, I do." But like that was because like the owner or the manager or whatever, and like, you know, for a job well done, it felt like a good deed being returned. I can't imagine like the hostess guy rolling in being like, "Yo, dude, want a snowball? To what end? To what end?" Right?
Yeah, the only thing they're going to give you is outdated product.
Yeah.
Yeah, like if I sneak you a little, ding dong or two, you think you can push back those expiry dates? What about like? Is this like organized crime where they're trying to push like old ho-hos?
Right. Like he's talking about these vendors like they're the most like skeezy people that come into a gas station.
Vendors are the scum of the earth. I hate them.
I take it personal.
Oh shit, our video died. What the heck?
What's that?
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Oh snap. Hold on, people. Please hold. I'm going to push the reload button. We're going to cross our fingers and hope we don't start at the beginning again.
Ho-Ho Pusher was also Ryan's nickname in high school.
Right, but I'm saying we're so close to being like we're walking the line of this being like a trick or treat video. Like the only reason like you'd accept a ho-ho or an ill-gotten snowball is like because the guy would slip some drugs or maybe a razor blade in it. Well, shit, this site crashed. So maybe that's it. Maybe I can't get back in there. Let's see here. Hold on. Definitely an error.
Wonder if it's the weather at my place. It's storming pretty good here. I don't know.
Oh shit, it's storming out, guys. Y'all gotta go. Love you guys. Guess that's Cyrax.
I don't know. You might be able to hear the rain in the background.
Well, here's the thing. Let me just do this.
The gentle rhythm soothes the pain inside. It's all good.
Oh, there you go. Brick says, in my line of work, suppliers come in to show their products and always leave gifts and presents, mainly pens and notepads, but my rule was that they didn't do a presentation unless they supplied morning tea. Yeah, that's
right. Again, price participation may vary. I've had a million different jobs, and like, being in the medical industry now is like one of those ones where like if you can't swing a dead cat without hitting a rep coming in with a party platter of subs or cookies or some shit.
Yep, we used to get in real good with our medical reps when I was in urology, and like they'd come in or they would like text one of us and be like, "Hey, is Dr. So-and-so there?" We're like, "Yeah." He goes, "What do you guys want from Starbucks?" He'd always bring us Starbucks just so he could talk to the doctor for 4.5 seconds between patients to get something.
That's the thing. It's always a bummer when, like, I don't know, you're in that situation as a consumer, right? Where like somebody does you a good deed, even though it's not really like, you're being a pain in the ass to them. And I've had to fight people because, like, the customer's always right. If I'm going to, like, try and tip someone, they're going to fucking take it because they can't not.
Right. Oh, man, it's sleeting where Ryan is. It was 77 here today.
What's up with you weirdos? Let me see if I can't get this to...
The weather in the fall is very confusing in Arizona because we wake up and it's 39 degrees, and then by the time noon rolls around, it's 75, and you just don't know what to wear.
All right, good news, guys. It's back, kind of. Can you see it, Jamison?
Yeah.
All right.
We were at the 24-minute mark earlier.
Then I will take your word for it because I have been drinking. All right, here we go.
Watched vendor could do all sorts of things.
Oh yeah,
those untrustworthy bastards,
skeezy ass vendors,
or even walk away with half the store. You have to watch them closely. I was over there at the counter, and
technically a vendor.
Like, not that. I feel like this shouldn't be said in training videos because, like, when I was when I was an electrician, I was at one point doing like low voltage jobs and like controls. So we were going all across Arizona to like retrofit all these banks with like a super high tech, ultra efficient HVAC system. And like we were at this bank and like in Bullhead City, I think. And everybody there was like, "Oh, watch out for the cleaners! Like when they're here, look out! Like make sure they lock the door when they leave." And like, "Oh, the cleaners, the cleaners, the cleaners." And I, living in Arizona and realizing most people are racist, I go like, I'm expecting like a burnt out Ford Aerostar to roll up, 6 people to get out, do a fucking immaculate job, and then disappear into the night. Little did I expect that like 45 minutes after everyone in the bank left, like a Mercedes rolls up with this white bitch with this like take me to your manager haircut and her 2 kids who look like they were doing this just for the fuck of it. I was like, these are the people you can't trust? Like they rolled up in a Benz, like wife was dripping in diamonds as her kids fucking emptied the garbage. And these people are like, watch out for the cleaners.
Wow.
What the fuck?
Well, how do you think they bought all that?
Oh yeah, stealing from the bank. I guess here's the thing. If you let your janitors get away to the extent they were able to finance a Mercedes and then like walk into your place dripping in diamonds.
That's a you problem.
Like, fucking fire them at the very least. I mean, hello? No HR there?
All except one very important policy. Never ask for samples or accept free merchandise. We are businessmen, and so are our vendors. Keep it that way. If you ever have any questions about receiving vendor deliveries, check with your store manager. Now complete checkpoint 1 in your participant's guide. When you complete this assignment, view the next part of this video program. Now stop the video.
Can't tell me to report.
A thieving vendor offered me some chips today.
Oh, like you're fired. Sun chips? That's grounds for termination.
I know his boss. I should have called him and reported him right away.
Sir, you have someone here offering free samples. Oh, thank you for this very important phone call to the tip line. Click.
Now, we're always looking to use all the space available.
If I know his boss, he was out on the golf course.
Why are you pricing on the bottom? That's hard to see.
It's also hard to damage or rip off. The shelf tag tells the price.
Oh, so that's what you use as the price.
Never. Always look in the price book for the right price. They use the book price, and if there are...
That thing looks like it was printed in the 1870s. Like, I've seen registers from general stores in, like, boom towns that look exactly like this.
Items on the shelf that are not at that price, reprice
I thought you loved spreadsheets. This is an IRL one, right?
them too. Also...
There's no lines. There's no borders. That's not a spreadsheet.
Is that what makes it so good? I'll ask Krista.
To the rear. And see this? Damaged goods no one will buy there.
Oh, great. Now we got a bunch of crusty-ass Natural Valley granola bars. How are we going to get rid of these?
I bet you it was the vendor who did that.
Oh, yeah, that's fucking vendors. Look at it. Looks like a dirty rat-toothed fink of a vendor just chomped into the side of that bar. Leaving crumbs everywhere on his keyboard.
Remove this from the shelf and put it in the storeroom so we can get a refund.
What makes what so good?
So we were looking at a primitive spreadsheet. Jamison says it needs to have the lines both vertical and horizontal to be aesthetically pleasing.
100%.
Fucking weirdos.
Vendor. So
you and Tammy can sit and spin. Fucking spreadsheet, motherfucker.
You want to hear weird? You know what I used to do? I used to have a spreadsheet. I'd make a spreadsheet of a boxing scorecard, and I would score boxing matches on my computer and have it automatically calculate everything for me.
Oh.
But that's like here's the thing. I can accept bizarre shit if it's like a hobby, like there's a means to an end. Like Krista likes spreadsheets. I don't think we have a use for them recreationally.
I mean, not recreationally.
Hey, bingo.
Business stuff, I do it. And work.
I don't know. People who say they love spreadsheets and shit like that, it's like it's if you run into like a Burger King worker who like loves a flame broiled machine. You know what I mean? Like they're super into making hamburgers. It just feels weird.
I'll tell you what spreadsheet system I like the most is Smartsheet over Excel. Excel can suck it.
Smartsheets.
never
Smartsheet's
mix it
amazing.
with back stock. There's room back there for damaged goods.
Now I notice you're putting all the boxes face up.
Why?
That's called facing the stock. We want to do it every chance we get, usually during stocking. Now,
Face down, we
You mean
used
you
to
don't
do.
piss it backwards?
Right.
Yeah, face down we used to do, but it used to confuse people because turns out English is read left to right, top to bottom, not the other way around. We could ask baked salmon. This isn't Japan, I'm pretty sure.
Facing the stock sells better, it looks good, and it's easy to find.
Is that a price gun? Easy to use?
Yeah, the key-
Ryan, don't tell secrets.
The key to a woman's heart is like that math formula that Jamison was just talking about.
Simple. Here, I'll show you how.
Oh, hell
Pull
yeah.
out the style so
Price
the indicator
tag.
is on the digit you want to change. You can set numbers, dollar or cent signs, a decimal point, and if you need it, even a tax symbol. Make your changes, then push the knob back in and lock it.
I can do that.
Pop it and
Let
lock
me hit a
that
few
shit.
prices.
Can I add a filter to
I'll let
this?
you do it. if you-
I'm going to set it and forget it, Brenda. Ugh. Get it.
Can I put 2 on here?
That's it. When you're done here, come in the cooler.
Okay.
Isn't
That's
that
gonna be-
for the vendors? Vendors come in the cooler.
Aren't these all the same price?
Look up, Brenda.
Look how slow he's going, though. It's going to be 3 hours before he meets her in there.
Yeah.
Hell yeah. Well, that's
See you
the-
tomorrow.
You have to milk that shit for as long as possible because, like,
Oh, that's right. They get paid by the hour, don't they?
yeah. Well, every Nature Valley granola bar needs a tag, and he's gonna be as rough as possible so that, like, when that fucking hippie opens it on the trail, it just explodes in their face like brown confetti.
Pop it, lock it, twist it, pull it.
Look at all the Pop Tarts.
How about that duster up there?
Fucking
Hi, Barb.
love it.
I'm all done out there. What are we doing in here?
Quite a bit. Now,
Wink.
no matter how cold it gets in here, never turn these fans off.
Brr.
The compressor could be badly damaged, and if you should forget to turn the fans back on, everything in here might spoil.
Who the
Explode.
fuck would put, like, the fans over cooling compressors, like, on their own dedicated switch? Like, it's just like a light switch on the wall. Like, oh, whoops, I did the thing that can destroy tens of thousands of dollars of cooling equipment. Whoopsie daisy. Sid. Fucking moron.
I'm looking. They must clean the ceilings in there.
Yep.
I know. I was expecting, number one, maybe it to be a little higher, but this isn't the beer cave. This is the storage. Dudes get the JOs in the beer cave, not in the storage. Storage is for employees only. Vendors get to stay up front.
You go in there with a black light, I'm sure you'll see some shit.
Oh, yeah. It's like a Vegas hotel room. in there.
Spoil. We're talking
But that's just from Quark and Brenda.
major money, so don't fool with the switches.
Don't you dare touch those
Now I'm
switches.
rotating the stock.
We like to do it counterclockwise. So just spin, spin, and done.
Always remember, new stuff on the bottom. This is the old.
Uh-oh. See
Old
that?
stuff on the top. We sell this first.
Maybe I missed it.
Well, she obviously didn't see the video on proper lifting. Look at that. She's
Yeah.
bending over to pick that up. You should be lifting at the knees. Come on.
Part of me wants to go like, yeah, where's the safety? But this is a thirst trap, Jamison. She's lured him back here to, Mary Kay Letourneau his ass or
Brick
whatever.
gets it. Brick wants to work with Brenda.
She seems like a totally cool person. Of course, she's getting slammed by Quark, and I wouldn't want to go in after that.
You'll notice that the beer stacks are in front of soda in front of the soda doors,
Oh,
and the
weird.
milk in front of its store.
Strange.
Now all the faster moving products we put towards the front for easy
Where's the
access.
filter door, Brenda?
Faster moving products like Sonic the Hedgehog pops.
Oh, yeah.
Always keep it
Yeah, they're
least
what,
2 to
they're what
3
perverted
inches of
justice
space.
calls a fast mover.
I love how he's trying to pretend like he's not cold by like rubbing his arm.
This is fine.
He's like the kid who forgot his jacket when he went ice skating.
Away from the wall, and use these boards to keep the stacks up off the floor.
Yeah, very tidy.
Or they're on a
It
stage.
also
He's
saves
a
time
really good
and
actor.
Oh yeah, he's just like, you think this is a stage and like act cold, and he's just like, ooh, brr. Yeah, the benda over. I'm saying, man, she like this is before twerking, but she was sticking it out for little Sid here.
Stocking. Now, when you're stocking the doors, it's the same. New stuff at the rear and everything faced to the front.
You know, Barb, it looks like we have room for another
Like
row
my
of Miller
women.
Lite here.
No, we don't. That's something I forgot to tell
Shut
you
up,
when we were
Sid.
restocking the gondolas. Look at the shelf.
The
here.
It
gondolas.
says Miller Longs. Well, I don't see any Miller Longs in here.
Right.
I see a bunch of Miller shorts. One in particular. Sorry, Brenda. It's cold in here.
So keep it open until we get some. Don't put things where they don't
Look at it,
belong.
boys. It's so cold.
It's cold. Can we get out of here now?
We have one more job to do.
Oh,
Damn
I
it,
even
Brenda.
mentioned it. I think Jamison's right. I don't think they're cold at all.
Yeah.
He's like, this guy is a Gary Oldman level actor. Is that Dracula?
We have to rebuild a few
Because also you can't see their not their lips, but
Their
like,
breath?
Even back here, like even in like a beer cooler, you're gonna see your breath. I feel.
six-packs of beer. Many customers just grab 1 or 2 beers from the full 6-pack.
So we need to rebuild them. Nice, neat, and saleable.
Rebuild
Exactly.
it. They
Actually,
will
yeah,
come.
you know what? If they were in a beer cooler, you'd be hearing those fans going.
Yeah.
I'm saying this has got to be like. I'm now leaning more toward this as like a stage set up for training, but like, goddamn, like that's movie level budget.
Yeah.
At least B movie. Oh, don't forget the fun time cooler.
So what's next?
There's 2 areas left.
I'm on the
Promotional
hot
displays
dogs.
and the sales counter.
Damn it.
Now always keep a sharp eye on the displays. Make sure that they're neat and full and that the right price sign
The
is
vendors
on them.
aren't taking off with
Never
any of
use
your
a vendor's
products.
rack.
Yeah, watch those fucking vendors. Just sneak
Is that
in here.
$1.49 for a 6-pack?
Hell yeah! Like we're living in a world. Like look at her pant legs. They look like Jinko jeans.
Jesus.
to hold different product. Now the same is
You saw it, go
true
grab a can of
for the
Coke.
baskets around the sales
You get a whole 6-pack for $1.49.
counter. Each has a sign and should always be kept full. They're great for impulse sales. Now finally, the sales counter. Everything has its own space
Hey, look, there's Jim Roush.
and should be kept full. Each of these rows holds 14 packs of cigarettes. Keep your eye on them, and when there's 4 left, refill them. That way, they will hold an entire carton.
Yeah.
Now you're ready
I
for
think it was
impulse
Jim Roush.
sales.
That's why there's no more Michelob Longs, right?
Yeah, he's like, they're all in the back of his champagne Aztec.
Impulse sales.
Let me take over from here, Barb.
Six
We like
packs
to
almost as
exploit people's weaknesses by using alcohol or gambling or sugary treats. It's the backbone of our industry, Sid. Exploitation.
6-pack is almost as big as the 12-pack.
I mean, at Pizza Planet or at 6-Pack Planet.
Rick says either they spent a lot of money on a one-time set or they use it for other training. Beats me what it would be.
Since there's no indication that we're going to be seeing anything about hot dogs, there's probably like a lawyer's bookshelf style repository somewhere of all the AMPM. Because like if AMPM is going to put this together with all like the generic branding, but with like legitimate products, I mean, yeah, it does feel like the uncanny valley.
It's probably just a gas station training video, not just for AMPM, just a general, because like they all look the same.
So you think they're just like a gas station in Culver City, like they just throw on the uniform and be like, oh, now you're working at Circle K today,
Yeah, that's why
Sid."
the Bud Michelob guy got confused. He was on the getting like the wrong information. He was supposed to be at the Circle K with the Bud, and then here with the Michelob, but he just put the wrong hat on.
But they're not going to put those two competing brands on the same truck. This doesn't make any sense. This feels like I feel like Neo after I took the pill that he took. You know, I'm a black pill cuck, apparently. Just losing touch with reality.
After you thought it was a set the moment the video started.
Simple, and it really relates to stocking. This comes in and
It's
finds what he
kind of
wants
leaning that
easily
way.
because the stock is full when faced correctly. Then a display, full and inviting, catches his eye, and he buys that too.
Ooh, this is so
And we help
inviting.
them along with a little
Bought the whole
upselling at the
display.
register. Now that's why we insist that all of the stock at the sales counter is full and fresh. That's the best area for added sales.
So in stocking, I should probably concentrate there.
Well, I want the whole store stocked, but if I had to tell you what to do first, it would be
Well,
the fast
Sid,
food
you
area.
fucking idiot.
God, the mullet saturation in this training video on customers and employees is nearing 100%. I can't fucking believe it.
Then the cooler.
Is that a
goes
dude or a woman?
You know, it's the 90s, man. Throw a dart.
particularly the soda and the beer. Then the candy section. And lastly, the gondolas. Concentrate on everything, but particularly the areas where we do the most business.
And go easy on the fucking filters, Sid. It's a razor thin margin with those things.
I knew that just putting up the groceries sounded too easy.
Does it look like Sid's cold again? Like he got the wrong direction? He's like, oh, it's cold out here, Mr. Quark. I think I need to go back to the beer fridge.
But it all comes together now.
Didn't that feel like an end of Family Ties? What was the one with Michael Keaton and Michael Gross? Not Michael Keaton.
That was Family Ties.
Family Ties,
Yeah, Michael J. Fox.
Michael J. Fox, yeah. Like, that was definitely like, I want to see that last scene turn into a painting and like fly away and land on the wall somewhere.
There's a store that's missing all of their stock, and it's here on the set.
When pricing merchandise, always use
Oh, he's
the
itching
price
for
book.
his next fix.
Place all new merchandise.
That's why his hand's
at
on
the
his
rear.
arm like that.
Oh,
While
so he's just
stocking the shelves,
he's covering up for the cold. It's like, he's got the DT.
make sure all items are properly faced and fronted on the shelves. Always clean and dust everything. Check the shelf
Everything.
tags so that product is placed where it is supposed to be. If needed, rebuild the displays and make certain that the proper prices, signs, and racks are used with the right product.
P.S. Do people actually, like,
While you cannot
instead of
overlook
buying a
any section
6-pack
the
of
store,
cans
give your
of a
highest
beer or
priority
something, they just take 2 out and pay for it?
That's the thing.
Yes.
What?
I did they allow that? Like whenever like the dudes that I saw were buying the tall boys, they were always like in singles.
Yeah, I remember when I worked in grocery, those single beers would ring up.
Wow.
And you get your clever people who would take 2 of this beer, 2 of the other beer, 2 of this one, and do a whole variety
Put
pack.
them all together. But, like,
Really?
how does that work in a 6-pack of beers? Like, if you scan 1, it would scan as the 6. How do you scan 1 to just scan 1?
This is a shrinkage issue. I mean,
Oh, shrinkage.
Jamison knows about shrink
it.
if he's worked in
It's
retail.
a different barcode on the bottle than on the package.
Huh.
What a
Well,
pain in the ass. Fucking,
Yeah.
you know,
Yes,
I'm annoyed.
I've
that-
stocked beer coolers before, and it is a pain in the ass when they do that.
It's annoying. Even like before I had gotten an impacted ass full of this concept, even as like a young man, I go, the customer is not always right. Sometimes they're just fucking assholes and they are belligerent. And it always chapped my ass that the manager's job was essentially to come out, fucking lick their ring piece, grant their every fucking wish, and then be like, thanks for coming.
you and the words this evening are odd.
I feel like I'm being pretty conservative with my words. But moral of the story is, like, it was always so frustrating. Like, and you know, now it's sort of crashing on the rocks of reality because now, like, I feel like I'm reading articles and seeing places or like seeing things like about places where like, yeah, the customer isn't always right because we're fostering a whole generation of entitled ass wipes.
Yes. Yeah.
The way I would handle irate customers, I would just let them vent at me. And then once I tell the employee, fuck them, don't worry about it.
Yeah. Here's the thing.
Yeah.
Whenever I had the power,
just make them believe they're always right.
yeah. Whenever I had the power to, I would always. But that's the right strategy too. Like when anybody ever came at me with like some bullshit, I knew I had no power. They knew I had no power. They just wanted to like run out their tank on someone. But if you like talk back to them, it immediately fills up their tank again.
Right.
So if you just let the person on the other side of the phone or in your face, wherever you are, like just let them get that first like run down the drag strip and you don't give them any more fuel, they just sort of stand there at the end of the track looking and waiting for the opponent that never raced them.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then they fuck off and you don't have to give them what they want because they go, well, fuck this. Adios, bitch.
Point 2 in your participant's guide. When you finish the checkpoint, study the review sections for this module in your participant's guide. Keep in mind that you can go over the
just review
reviews
the
as often as you feel may be
No,
necessary.
he reviewed it with
See your
him.
store manager if you
Now
have
it's
any
your
questions
turn.
about this module. When you're ready, you can take the module test. Remember, the module test counts. Now stop the video.
For what?
Counts as
Toward what?
employment.
Like, do you think that they will take these points you get on your, like, your Arco report card and be like, hey, you earned an extra
shift
32-ounce soft drink.
You get some expired chips.
You only got a 62. You're hired at minimum wage.
There you go.
Oh yeah, like, but that, that's the thing. I was hired. My first job was minimum wage, and the minimum wage at that time was $6.10.
Wow. My first job was minimum wage also, but I don't remember what it was.
Probably $40.
At the time.
My first job was pretty much one minimum wage, and it was a package handler at UPS. Take that, John DeP.
Steelers and the Ravens. So what was minimum wage back then? But like for you, because across each state it was probably different, right?
Yeah.
It was somewhere around $8, I think.
I want to say $8
maybe
and
less.
5
No,
cents.
it was less than that.
May have been mine.
What I remember, like my first job, like was right after minimum wage in Arizona went from like $5.75 to $6.10. And I was thinking $6 fucking dollars an hour. If someone in my life right now, like if I went to an interview and they said, "Good news, we want you, we'll pay you $6," you would have to, like, the sound barrier would be broken as my foot traveled to their crotch and left.
Indiana's minimum wage is still $7.25.
All right, and then that's the thing. Price and participation may vary. But, like, Jesus Christ. Whatever. At that first job, I, like, got a raise and then got promoted to supervisor, and I just barely broke $7 an hour.
Crazy.
I'm in California. I think it's like $15 here now, minimum wage.
Jesus
Probably.
Christ. But shit's expensive at that price. Like, not to get into, like, the economics of shit, but, like, the more you pay the people that sell your shit for you, the more you got to charge for your shit, especially if you're, like, hello.
That's why all the Californians are moving to Arizona.
That's crazy, man.
Washington, D.C., it's $17.25.
Bonkers. Is that Richard Pryor? Is that Beanie Weenies?
They changed up their tune.
Yeah.
Right, this isn't Huey Lewis at all.
Nope. Woo. Fast foods.
We're back.
Hey, hot dogs may come.
We get that burger wrap.
Please. Oh. Burgers and breakfast sandwiches.
I do love a good breakfast sandwich.
So, what's Barb teaching you today, Jeff? How to
breakfast sandwiches, sir.
It's not
cook
Sid.
and store these hot foods.
There's a lot to learn.
He's got his training mullets. When he's hired on full time, they'll let him grow it all the way out.
Proper thawing, cooking, fast
Proper
wrapping,
thong?
proper product display, when to cook, and how much.
Is she touching him or touching the
cook
wall?
and how much?
Okay.
That's
I was
right.
wondering the same
All
thing.
of our fast food must
That's
be
sexual
kept
harassment, Brenda.
She's squeezing his arm really hard. She's like, right, Steve? Tell Chad here how good of a job I'm doing.
hot and fresh.
Save it for the cooler, Brenda.
Pretty much all at once.
I mean, that death grip, Jesus Christ.
It can get cold before we get it into the warmer. And if we don't sell it quickly, it can dry out.
Right. There's two basic rules to fast
Like
food.
my wife.
Cook less, more often, and keep hot things hot and cold things cold.
Hey, we like to keep things at the AM PM. When they're hot, they're hot. When they're cold, they're cold. You know what I mean there?
Now, every step of food preparation
In New
is
Zealand,
important. We want to
the
serve our
adult minimum
customers
wage
the highest
is
quality
$13.50 US.
In New Zealand, minimum wage is you. Right, guys?
food.
And quality begins right here, Jeff.
Maybe you get a. Do you get a kiwi with your
Yeah, you
minimum
get 7
wage?
kiwis on the American dollar.
All of our hot food is delivered to us frozen, so we have to get it into the freezer
We like it hot and fresh here.
Now we keep
Chicago
everything
David
below
is
0
best,
degrees
David.
Fahrenheit, or we put it into the
Are you restocking that Malort? People are just flying through the doors to get that shit.
walk-in if we're going to be using it in the next few days. Now it's important to date and
23
rotate
New Zealand
all the
dollars.
food as we fill
Wow.
the freezer. That way we use the older food first.
This is going to be pretty full.
Jesus.
Should I put some in the ice merchandiser?
No.
We have to
Never.
keep everything below 0 degrees Fahrenheit
filter in
until
there.
we thaw it. Or in the case of the cookies or potatoes, until we cook them. The ice
I
merchandiser
have never had Malort, Ryan. I just know it by reputation. Not gonna
isn't
drink
cold
that
enough.
shit.
It's about 20
Not gonna
degrees.
eat lutefisk either.
Stays here.
Right, except what we'll be using in the next few
You
days.
get kiwis as Christmas
We
gift from
rotate the
employers?
Merry Christmas. Here's your kiwi. It's me, Lieutenant Sipowicz, here in New Zealand.
Supplies, too.
Merry
we want to make
Christmas.
sure that we use the older stock first.
Is it at least a peppermint flavored kiwi?
Ah.
Yeah, like it's got that beautiful like barber pole striping. That's where we keep all our square individually wrapped pumpkin pies. The
Now,
holidays
what if we
are on
run
their
out
way.
of thawed food? Can we just put frozen food under hot water or something?
No, if you use the build-up sheet, you won't run out.
So we got hams, we got ya-ibs. They're my beloved hot dogs, not macho dogs. What world is
Macho
this?
Now,
or
let's make
nacho?
some burgers. So you grab some and I'll
Nacho.
go warm up the oven.
Okay.
Okay.
Macho Man Randy hot dog.
Malort has a taste
We
profile
use
of
this
grapefruit and
convection oven to
gasoline.
prepare all our hot
I can
food.
brew that myself.
But first, we
That's
turn
true.
it on and set it to 325
Ah,
degrees.
there's an
So that's
indicator
the
light.
temperature we use for everything except cookies.
Now they put on their baking hats.
I was gonna say they got caps now.
His hat looks really
Boston
dumb
cap.
on his head.
Right.
What is going on?
It's like a super early version of the Von Dutch. That's a trucker cap that you cannot believe.
Now this amber light will go off when the oven is preheated to 325 degrees
Our oven's got an amber alert.
Woo!
and ready to cook. Then turn on the bun toaster.
Huh.
Am I right?
It
Ding.
takes at least 20 minutes for both the toaster and the oven to preheat.
What do we do while we wait?
We've already washed our hands,
Oh.
so now we get the patties and the buns ready.
We've already washed our hands, so it's ready for some rubbing action in the beer freezer.
Sure you don't want to go to
And don't open these patty packages. Next, look at the cooking chart to make sure that you have the right time for each item.
That's the worst spreadsheet I've ever seen. Where are the horizontal and vertical lines?
Yeah, this is fucked.
Jesus.
We can only cook 18
That's a list.
items
Yeah, that's a shopping list.
A fucking garage sale spreadsheet I put it like, on my DOS computer.
at once, depending on how they're packaged. You might only be able to cook 2 or 3 trays simultaneously. Now we only need 1 tray of quarter pounders, so they go on the middle rack. Now if we needed 2, they would go on the top and the bottom, and if we were cooking 3, we would use the top, bottom, and the middle.
And the garbage
Why
can.
only use all 3?
18 items?
Because we can't wrap more than 18 fast enough to get them in the warmer while they're still hot. Remember, keep hot things hot. And
He's
if we're
gonna take that
cooking
as a
different
challenge.
products at the same time, burgers, burritos, or egg rolls, we'd have to check the chart.
Rolls.
The light went out, so should I put the burgers in and start toasting buns?
Set the timer,
Then forget it.
put the burgers in,
It's already sizzling and there's nothing in there.
and then push the start button. Now we don't toast the buns
Now we have 9 whole minutes to ourselves. What we'll do?
until 2 minutes before the burgers are ready to come out. If we're cooking
Oh,
2 or
boy,
3 trays of
ouchie.
patties, start 3 or 4 minutes before they're done.
Okay, it says 2 minutes now.
Good.
Okay.
Now turn the toaster motor on, and remember, always wear gloves when preparing food.
Because you really want that vinyl to melt into your skin when you actually come into contact with the heating elements in all this machinery.
Yeah, see, they actually wear gloves. Subway, we'll put my fucking black olives all over my fingers, all onto your buns.
Hey, what goes better with black olives than red sores?
And
the bun.
we know where Brenda's hands have been.
Yeah, but they're, like, her hands have seen so much action, she has no more fingerprints. They've been rubbed smooth.
Separate the halves.
The life of an AM/PM manager.
Little
And feed
seasoning.
them into the toaster. And make sure that the insides are facing you, with the tops on the right and the bottoms on the left.
What setting is the toaster on?
That varies, usually between 8 and 10. Check the buns against the pictures on the wall chart. And when the
The one in the middle bottom looked like a Thomas's English muffin. Do you guys see how
Yeah.
many nooks and crannies were in that motherfucker?
This probably
They
goes.
can't. You can't tell when a bun is toasted.
No,
No.
you need the,
They need the color
you need
coded
the
chart.
color chart. Yeah, it's like, you look at it, you go, is this brown enough? Is it too brown? There's no chart.
Could somebody ask for a well done bun?
I need to double check on these buns.
when the time Put the oven mitt on and remove the burgers.
Just the one. Oh, she found 2. Ugh. They look like cookies made out of dog shit.
2 gloves, 2 filters. Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah. We double up because it's the right thing to do.
That's not 18 burgers. Also, that's 6.
I can't believe that plastic wrap didn't melt in the oven.
Yeah.
Where do those grill marks come from?
Probe a burger with a clean,
Pre-made.
sanitized thermometer.
Steamed ham.
Stick it right through the plastic. There you go.
It should read at least 165 degrees.
How did that plastic
Now, if it's
survive?
less, cook them for another minute and probe them again. Notice that I laid out
Nobody?
6 bottoms here
You're not
as
gonna
soon
make a
as they came
probing
out of
joke?
the toaster.
I mean, at this point.
Don't forget, quarter pounders are cheeseburgers. Put a full slice on each bottom to get ready for the patties. Once the burgers come out of the oven,
If I catch you cutting these slices in half or even quarters,
Why would you ever do that?
right? Like, don't go out of your way. And when you unwrap the American singles, don't cut them. Like, make it the whole cheeseburger, right? Pretend like you're making it for yourself, and you have an iron stomach, and you aren't going to get diarrhea. Do it like you would at home.
time to lose. or
Painted
they'll
on
cool
grill
off.
marks.
I know. Keep the hot things hot.
Brick had a friend who did food photography.
Shooting food is hard, man.
Put the tops on and wrap.
Look at how many, like, color-coordinated things she has behind her.
Center the burger, fold the wrap up from the bottom and down from the top, and the corners in to make triangles on each side.
Oh.
Lift it up and tuck the triangles underneath. After wrapping all hot food, always timestamp the food before placing it in the warmer. Then get them all in the warmer quickly, adding this new food to the rear.
Just
Very
constantly
important
throw
not to
it.
lose any time.
Throw it in there.
Remember, the warmer is a merchandiser, not an oven.
That seems like
Properly
not for nothing. I've not seen a lot of food move through convenience stores in my day, but maybe I'm just missing peak hours. Like,
Yeah, probably.
obviously not maybe, but obviously there are exceptions because I feel like every time I go into QT, that place is always hopping, but they've got like a full blown kitchen and they'll make pizza and stuff ready to order.
Oh, wow.
Like, I've never, even like in that brief and horrifying moment of my life when I was willing to eat a gas station hamburger, I feel like I was the only one I ever saw buy one.
I've never eaten them, nor have I paid enough attention to see if people are buying them.
But like, you know, this fully stocked set, it must have been happening at some point, right?
Probably.
Jesus,
I
where
don't
were?
know. Our chevrons here, they have, I don't know if you have these there called an Aztec grill.
No.
You know, they make, it's in gas stations, they make these really thick, really big burritos. They're just packed with, you know, like chicken, rice, beans, really good stuff. Beats the hell out of that crap they're showing on here.
It's wild because like gas stations are the one spot that are like a rich man, poor man situation where like you can walk into a gas station and if you're in the right part of town or in a small town, it'll be like, for example, when I lived in Apache Junction, there's a little gas station that had a sub shop in the back called Submasters. The best fucking subs on the planet in a totally unassuming place. But you can also walk into the same place and get a hamburger that looks like it was peeled from under somebody's dually. Like there are so few places where you can go in and be shocked in equal measures, but one being totally pleasant and the other one being totally horrifying.
Yeah.
Like I can walk into a gas station and go like, oh my God, it's like, you know, you find the best burritos on the planet or the best subs or best tacos or whatever. You go, oh, you know, thank God for places like this. But then you find like just a crusty pile of human excrement behind that like sneeze guard. And you go, yeah, I'm not shocked.
Well, it's crazy to me that like the gas stations, like there's gas stations that have Dunkin' Donuts in them. So you can go and get your breakfast sandwiches and your coffee from them. But then they also have this where it's like the gas station workers making them are
That
putting them
seems like
together.
a headache because you have to have two intellectual properties. Like when you have like an actual recognized chain, that's crazy. It feels like what it'll happen. Just like you see at Walmart, sometimes you walk in and one time there's a Subway.
Yeah.
Another time it's just like a nondescript Chinese restaurant where they used to. That's the thing. You got to do your own thing.
Yeah.
Because someone will go, oh, that's the place that has the blimpies in it. And if they fuck off and then you're now like.
Well, like Target always has Starbucks. And if they don't have Starbucks, they have their own nondescript popcorn.
Yeah, you can either
thing.
get coffee or popcorn.
Yeah, it's weird.
Properly set, it will keep the food 140 degrees
Triangle
hotter,
Tucker was
but it won't
also
heat up
Ryan's
food
nickname in
that's
high
cooled
school.
off. Food in the warmer must be
Weird
above
name.
140 degrees. That's a health department requirement. If we don't put them in there quickly, or if we forget to close the back doors, they will cool off.
Never forget to close the back door.
on the warmer?
It's adjustable, and you have to keep checking it. But if we turn it up,
Like if you took this screenshot out of context and like showed it to someone, you're like, who is this person? Like, oh, that's like someone who works at like what, some sort of sun research. These are planets. Like
It looks like looking in a microscope at like germs.
yeah, like this is just a janitor who wandered into like the observatory or like a microbiology
Pathology
place.
lab.
turn it up too high, the food will
Oh, yeah,
It
these
looks like an episode of Star Trek.
Yeah.
Or these all look like colonoscopy pictures.
Yeah.
It's like the greatest hits of inside someone's ass.
Is that for
Dry
Baked
out.
Salmon's appointment today?
Oh hell yeah!
Oh, there it is.
No, that's this baked salmon is this one right here. They had it faxed over.
get the food in the warmer quickly. Then probe a sampling of food with a sanitized thermometer
Hell
every
yeah,
hour
probe
or
it.
so to check the warmer setting. That way we can be sure the burgers are right.
People love our products that are just full of holes. The patties are just full of puncture marks. Like every wrapper has been adulterated. There's thermometers hanging out of every order of fries.
No
Right,
trick or
when it's
treater
cold.
will get anything
There are
from
different
here.
wraps.
Yeah, make sure you break down one out of every 5 sandwiches to make sure someone didn't sneak a razor blade or like an LSD tab because you don't want our customers freaking out.
They'll just blame it on a vendor going through putting holes in
Oh, there you go.
all
Oh,
their
yeah.
products.
Goddamn vendors laced our hamburgers with LSD again, and everybody's taking their shirts off and licking each other's nipples. Just another day at the AM/PM. Goddamn
Each
vendors.
sandwich. They all go on the bun, and each sandwich has its own wall chart. Remember, check the chart and change the cooking time for each sandwich. But the oven stays at
Consult the color
325
guides too,
degrees
guys.
for everything.
Yeah, like by the
except
time
cookies.
you set the timers,
only
get
other
the stuff
product that
out,
uses
check the
toaster
colors,
is the
your food's
breakfast
cold.
sandwich.
Yeah, but you're doing this in between breaks of 20 or 7 minutes, sometimes 9. You know?
The breakfast products are cooking in the oven. Toast the English muffins. Use the left side of the toaster only.
Oh, it is an
Both
English muffin.
halves.
Oh, hot
Start
damn.
3 minutes
Yeah,
before the
it's
oven
breakfast
timer
sandwiches.
goes off.
Prophetic.
Then arrange them on the trays. Put a slice of cheese on each one. Use the tongs to put the food on. Use
Hey, a
your
full
own
slice of
special
cheese.
wrap.
Double cheese.
Work fast. They'll cool off
Oh,
quickly.
that was an egg,
And
sorry.
get them in the warmer quickly.
Hell yeah, they're
Every time
ripping
you cook,
off
take
McDonald's
the
as
temperature
hard as
of the
possible.
first product you pull from the oven.
Where are they getting this plastic that doesn't melt? That's the most amazing part of
It's
this.
like the plastic of TV dinners. You don't take the plastic all the way off a
Or-
TV dinner all
It's
the
like
time.
the space age
Cellophane.
plastic they used to wrap CD players in
Oh yeah, cellophane.
back in the cellophane. I mean,
Except
how,
you can get this stuff open though, right?
Yeah, right.
yeah, right.
If the food is not at
I
165
mean, you got to puncture it 7 or 8 times with that meat thermometer first.
degrees,
Really
put it
loosen
back
it
in the
up.
oven for another minute and check again.
The 2 most important rules in fast food are
Food
cook
made fast. Those are the 2 rules.
And hot.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, let's call it there. We've got through like half of it. It's good enough. Jamison, thank you so much for joining me, my friend. It was a blast.
Yeah, once I heard you were drinking, I decided to pour myself some whiskey and join you.
Nice.
Yeah, I mean, every time I sit in this chair, I've got to, drown my sorrows. No, I'm just kidding. No, it always helps to loosen up the old gears. Plus, I've got so much in backstock, I can't help it.
It's true.
Anyway, Jamison, is there like a place where I know sometimes I'll see you coming over my Instagram where like you're on other people's shows. Is there something you're doing on the regular you want to get out there, like plug wise?
No, not particularly. I just pop in on other people's things sometimes. A lot of times I'm over on AJ's TCAP hangout.
Yeah, and
But
not for nothing, we invoked baked salmon earlier and the camera in his ass, but Jamison and I and Angler were just on an episode of Baked Salmon Show, so go out and check that whenever you get the chance. Obviously, you can do it now because this show's over.
Yeah.
But yeah, super fun time. Always a pleasure to interact with you. I'm glad we could finally get you on the show.
yeah, so and you reached out to me a while back. I just never got back to you about it, but
Jeez.
it was a lot of fun.
Shit happens. Life gets in the way. I get it. That's the
Are you kidding? I've been awake since 1:30 this morning. I worked about 12 hours today, so
Good Lord.
You're fucking crazy.
I'm just glad I could stay awake.
My God, man. You really put in the effort, but I appreciate it. Thank you so much, everybody who decided to show up and learn a little bit about how to work at an AM PM. If you want, you can come work with me. Jamison will train you, but you know what that means he's going to have to do for our vendors, those fucking scumbags. Anyway.
You know I am a vendor.
What? No, then who's going to... sorry. The rules don't apply because Sid ain't here. All right, guys.
I can tell you some stories about Brenda for sure.
I feel like, well, I mean, we get into it later. This is a very unsavory topic to bring up at the 11th hour, but, people are banging in the workplace, you know what I mean? Anyway, guys, thank you, Jamison. Thank you, everybody who showed up in the chat. We'll have to have you back on for sure. But, that being said, we will catch you on the next episode. We're back to true crime. Hopefully, if Sarah Boone here, if Krista here can cut our Sarah Boone footage together, we'll be going over her.
Wait till the last minute to tell me you want to do it in 2 days.
Hello, we do true crime on Fridays.
Good Lord.
Whatever. We'll do something. Thanks so much, everybody. Smell you later.
Bye.
See ya.
For the try to
Fistful of Podcasts Radio.